The 22nd of August, Rabbi Furst, MIshna Berura.
Thank you. Good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here in Yerushalayim Kiryat Zumar for a second share this morning. Hilchos Niyatilas Yadayim Nefshtabuk Simukuf Samek Aleph Sif Sif base. I think we started Sif base, correct? Yeah.
That is correct.
So let's just review the Mechaber in Sif base.
So it's Kuf Samach Aleph
Yes.
Correct.
and Sif Base. I see Aleph. Okay, I got it. Shall I read?
Yes, please, if you like. Go ahead.
Okay, Kol Devar She'eno Makpid Alav Eno Chotzetz. Anything that we're not particular about, it's not, what's Chotzetz? I don't know.
It does not intervene. Chotzetz is an intervention, like a mechitza, right? Yeah, chotzetz is the verb, is a verb form of mechitza, is a noun, right? Mechitza is something which is a separation, right?
Right.
Something, and a chatzitza is a chatzitza is a separation. A mechitza is a barrier, right?
Right. So if we're not particular about it, it's not considered to be an interference.
Right. Correct.
Haya Darko Shel Zeh Lehakpid. I'll close that door, please. Okay, have a good show.
Might need you to help her.
What? Excuse me a second, what?
She might need you to help her.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Kol davar she'eino makpid, anything that they're not strict about, that's not going to be considered to be chotzetz, right? What has to be, you have to have a certain strictness, a certain hakpada about the thing that's on your in this case on your hands. If a person's not makpid about it, so then according to the strict letter of the law, it won't be intervening. It won't be a barrier between the water and the flesh. Go ahead, continue on.
Okay. So if it's the way, if it's his way to be particular in this, then it's not his way to be particular. I'm missing something here.
Kol davar she'eino makpid alav eino chotzetz, right? Anything which people are not strict about, it's not going to be considered an intervening substance.
Right.
The darko shel zeh lahakpid, then if it happens to be the way that zeh lahakpid, there is zeh ein darko lahakpid. I mean, let's say some people are, some people are not. What if it's like half and half? Some people it is, and some people it doesn't.
Some are strict and some are not strict.
Right.
The mi shedarko lahakpid chotzetz, to the one who it's his way to be strict, it is an interference. The mi she'ein darko lahakpid eino chotzetz, and to one who's it's not his normal way to be strict, then it's not an interference. Ketzad, for example, haya echad tzava v'hayu yadav tzavu os. So, for example, there is some dirt. And there are on his hands, there's dirt on his hands.
Right, okay, so. So Kate, so the Kate said, what's the example? Zaya Echad Sova. This person happens to be a painter. He's a painter. Sova is a painter. Vaya Yadov Tsuvois, and his hands has paint on them, right? The paint won't be considered a barrier for his hands because he's always got a little, obviously his hands are completely covered with paint, but his hands are always getting, there's always paint stuck to his hands in one way or the other, right?
We don't consider that to be an interference.
Right, for him, because that's the way it is by him. His hands are always covered with paint.
Right. I know how that goes. When I was painting my house, my hands constantly had paint on them and couldn't get it off.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Hatseva chotzeis al yadav. He's got dirt that's intervening on his hand. Af al pi, even though sheyesh al yadav mashut. Even though there is on his hands actual shel tziv onim, actual dirt.
No, but his Savorium or paints, because in this case we're talking about the person who's a painter, right? So he's got paint on his hands, right? So in this case, it's not going to be a barrier for him because he always has paint on his hands.
Right. Lo hayat tzava.
So let's say you're talking now about a person who's not a painter. This guy's not a painter.
Not a painter. Im hayu yadav tzavuos. If he has paint on his hands, yesh mamash hat tzeva al yadav, and there is actual paint on his hands. Hare zeh chotzeis. This is an interference. She hardo.
Shehayados, one second, Shehayadoi, Hayavish. Now, what's this referring to? 1 second.
I think dry paint or dry ink.
Hayados, Hayavish. I guess, yeah, when the paint is dried, I guess that's what it's referring to, yeah.
When the paint's dried, it's a barrier. The halach eno chotzeis. And this is not an interference.
Right. In this case, if it's lach, right? Hayados shayadoi hayavesh chotzeis. If it's going to be that it's dry, then it's chotzeis. Well, lach, and if it's wet, the paint is wet, then it's not chotzeis.
Oh, if it's dry, it is chotzeis. Yavesh chotzeis.
Right. Valach, it's moist, it's not.
V'chein ha-nashim shedarkam litz boa yedehen l'nui v'chayotzei bazeh. And similarly for women, that it's their way, litz boa, I don't know.
To color.
to color
Yeah,
Right.
their hands, lanui the kayotse bazeh. What's lanui?
beauty.
For beauty, right?
What?
Because apparently at that time they used to color their hands. Women used to color their hands. Now they color their fingernails, but at one time they apparently colored their hands as well
And what's lanui?
for beauty.
For beauty.
Yeah, you want to start? You can start you can start a new fad and have start women coloring their hands. Open up salons where you can color your hand, have your hands colored.
I can get rich.
Yeah, sure. They go for anything that's new. They'll go for. Believe me.
Yeah. Start a hand coloring fad. Ooh, wow.
Right. That's right.
Kiyotse said that they are exempt in this.
No, Kiyotsu, because similar things like this,
Some
right? And also Sevachotse. That color of the hands is not going to be considered to be a barrier.
okay. Should I do the Mishnah the Ramah?
Yeah, I think so. Let's just do that. It's a little short, a little bit.
A gilde maka sha'al
This
yadav. What's
is a Gidley mark. That's a scab. It's a scab. Person is a scab.
he has a scab from a wound on his hand. Im eno makpid alav eno chotzin. If he's not strict about this, then it's not an interference.
Right.
Sefer Haturuma. That's the source.
That's exactly. That's the source. Sefer True is the source.
Okay. So Mishnah Berura,
Yes.
bet kol
Yes.
kule, all things. Eno im hu miuto dafka. If it is reduced specifically,
No, it's a minority of the area. Russell mimixas mimokum and it's colored. The hands are colored, right, in a minority of the place where you have to wash.
upon gav var zachar ze hamechaber besof sof hakodem.
1
Even
second. I lost you. I lost you.
under bet.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Good. Okay. Yeah. Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so even that
Even though that this Kavar Zah, even though that this was already mentioned by the Mechaber, Besov Siman Akodim in the end of the previous sif. I mean, this is a repetition really of what we had previously, right? So even though that the Mechaber mentioned this previously at the end of this previous sif, Kafel Khan, he doubled it up or he repeated it over here. Why did he repeat it over here?
he repeated it over here. Mishum dechol ha-saif ze hu divrei harashba mamash.
Rashba Mama. This Sif Yud base is the words of the Rashba Mamish. The whole words of the Rashba.
Kamuva Vase Yosef. What's
as is brought, Shemuv as is brought or cited in the Beis Yosef. That's the Rav Yosef Cairo's commentary on the Torah.
Right. V'ratza lehatiko bilishono. And we want to correct his language.
That Ratzal Latiko Belosho, he wanted to copy, literally Latiko, to copy his exact language.
Who's copying whose language?
The Beis Yosef, right? The Beis Yosef, who wrote the Mechaber, the Shulchan Aruch, he wanted to cite and copy the exact language of the Rashba.
Ah, I see. Okay. Yud bet. V'hayu yadav tivuos. His hands were had dirt on them. Rotze lamar.
No, not dirt, paint. Tivuos are colored paint.
Oh, paint, had paint on them. Rotelamar, that is to say, miktsas mimakom hanitila. A little bit of the place that was washed.
That it's a it's a minority of the area that has to be washed. As he's going to say, you can't, in any case, if it's going to be a majority of the area that has to be washed, it's not dependent on whether he's strict or not. Once it becomes a majority of the area, that's enough now to invalidate the area to be washed, because it's a majority of the area is covered up. If it's going to be a minority of the area which has to be washed, so then it's going to be dependent on whether he's makbid, whether he's strict about that intervening substance or not. But if it's going to be a rove, once it's a rove, a majority of the area, it doesn't matter whether he's makbid or not. Once it's a rove, it's going to invalidate the ability of the water to be purifying the hands.
The ilu haya rubo, that if it is the majority, ha kaima lan da'afilu eno makpid kotses. So this is what you just said. It is a majority establishes it that even if he's not strict, it's an interference.
Right.
Achein b'seifar le'inyan nashim shedarkan litzbo yedehem lanui. And so in the book of the matter of women, that it is their custom to paint their hands for beauty. Sham afilu kol yedehem tivuos name. There, even all their hands are painted also. Kevan she miskavunos la'asos kain v'rotsos vazeh. Since she intended to do this, and she wanted this.
Right. So there's the Mr. Brewer is just preempting what you would ask based on the rest of what was written in the Mechaber, that you see by women that their whole hand is colored, right? They dye or they paint their whole hand, right? And how can that not be considered to be a barrier because it's the whole hand. It's not just a row of a majority of the area. It's the whole entire hand is colored. How can that be? We see if it's at least if it's even a row of it's going to invalidate the washing. So the answer is there when the women are coloring their hands, they specifically want that their hands should be colored. They should be painted, right? So therefore, right, if that's what they want, so therefore that's not going to intervene. So likewise, you have they paint their faces. You have a clown. They have a clown, right, or an entertainer of some sorts, and their face is painted, and they want that. So apparently, if that's what they want, then that's not going to be right a intervening substance.
Hooray, who kigufan mamash below chaytse. We see that this is like their body, actually like their body, and it's not an interference.
Right. Very good. Okay, I guess we'll have to stop here now. So remember, let's make a point to mention that we're here and came to a stopping point at Yud Gimel.
Right.
Yud Gimel. Very good. Okay, we'll try and pick this up on Yom Rishon again, Mitzvah Shem. Thank you, Lou.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
Rab.
you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, Lou.
Both be well. Erev Shabbos tomorrow, Mitzvah Shem, 9:30. Anyone's been in touch with Roy? He hasn't been with us a few days this week already. I'm not sure if he's doing well.
His wife I think she might still be in the hospital.
That's my understanding.
Ah.
I don't know what.
She had some digestive problem. The food that goes down the pipe was stopped before it got into the stomach, I think. So I don't know exactly what they have to do for her, but she's, I think, still in the hospital.
All right, so
Amen.
All
Okay.
right, very good. Okay, Mitzvah Shem, everyone should be well, and everyone should have a good day, Mitzvah Shem.
Okay. Thank you, Rabbi. You too.
Thank you, be well. Shalom, bye.
Okay.